Hello and welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday, Pinkfresh Studio fans. It's time for another release. I can't even believe that a month has gone by already. So today I'm going to show you our newest release called Delights and Doodles. And it's definitely our most adorable release yet, I would say. And this one consists of 6 product suites and 2 coordinating sort of essentials that would work well with any sort of product. And I'm going to walk you through all of the new products that we have. So first up, we have this adorable little guy here. This one is called Gelato on the Go. And I should mention that all the illustrations in this release are by Lizzie M. And if you've been a follower of Pinkfresh Studio for a few years now, or if you've been around since the beginnings of Pinkfresh Studio, you will be familiar with her illustrations, because back then she already did some stamp sets for us and also some illustrations for scrapbooking collections. So this one is a 4x6 clear stamp set, and the images are on one stamp, so merged on one stamp, and it does look a little bit incomplete here, and you will see in a second why that is. And you have 4 coordinating sentiments in this sort of fitting the theme and the illustrations in a sort of handwritten font. Hope your day is extra sweet, sweet birthday wishes, you are cooler than gelato, and hello friend. And then the coordinating die set is a 3-piece die, and it will cut out the sweet birthday wishes and the hello friend sentiments. So there's these 2 dies, and then you have 1 die for this little guy here on the bike and the ice cream. And then you can see here that this is an umbrella, and you will see in a second how to get that umbrella. So this is sort of the mock-up on the back of the packaging. And the coordinating 4-piece layering stencils allow you to not only color in the stamped image, the stamped image here, but also the umbrella. So you can see up here that you have the sort of striped umbrella, and then the other layers for, parts of the bike and the little guy on the bike. And then the coordinating die cuts everything out in one go. And I always forget to mention it, but this time I didn't. So if you're not familiar with our dies and also press plates, all of the sets that include more than 1 piece come with a magnet in between, so that you have everything stored nicely. It doesn't move anywhere. It helps you not lose any dies or press plates, and it's just great for organization and storage, so you don't actually need a separate sort of system. Now, I have 1 sample card here. So you can see here that you have the stamped outlines for part of the image, and then the umbrella here doesn't have any stamped outlines since this one is only stenciled in. But I think there's so many cute ways to use this set. Next up, we have the ice cream truck product suite. This one is also a 3-piece product suite consisting of a 4x6 clear stamp set, coordinating dies and coordinating layering stencils. Now this one here, it works in a similar way as the Gelato on the Go, that you have some parts of the image that are stamped, some that are then also ink blended, and then die cut in the end. So you get this little bear here that hands out some ice cream. You get some ice cream scoops in different sizes. You will see in a second what that's for. And then again, some beautiful sentiments, and they all revolve around sort of celebrating, but not only celebrating birthdays. So you have the happiest birthday, but you also have just things like life is better with sprinkles, or celebrating you is the sweetest. And this could be, for any sort of celebration. A very versatile combination of sentiments. And then you get 3 small stamps. So these are individual stamps that you can use to stamp some sprinkles on either the ice cream scoops or on your backgrounds. Now the coordinating die set is a 4-piece die. So you get 3 of the sentiments. So you get the Just For You, Have the Happiest Birthday, and Sending Sweet Sunshine. Now, most of the others are pretty easy to just cut into sort of a sentiment strip, so you can easily use them that way. And then the other die, you can see right here, this one obviously cuts out the little bear and the ice creams, but it also cuts, since this product suite is called Ice Cream Truck, of course there is a truck, so the 4-piece layering stencil set is there to color in an ice cream truck and then also the stamped image. So you can see here the ice cream truck fills a good portion of a card, and then you can play around with the single elements that are included in this set. And our design team has created some beautiful inspiration with this and very creative, also using the ice cream truck as the shape for a card base, and you can see that here. Now next up we have the Petissery Pals product suite. This again is a 3-piece product suite, but this time it comes with a 6x8 clear stamp set. And you get this large sort of patisserie building or storefront, and then some coordinating sentiments in a bit of a larger size. So it says sweets and hugs, just because our friendship is the sweetest. Cheers to another year, celebrate life's small joys, have a deliciously happy day, and life is sweeter with you. So again, revolving around this idea of sweet, happiness, celebration, but it can cover lots of different events or just everyday sort of greetings. And then you have 2 little detail stamps that you can add to your patisserie. Now, this is the mock-up on the back, and you can see that there are some more elements that are not included on the stamp set, but they are included in the coordinating dies and layering stencils. So you can see that we played around with this idea of having some of the images with stamped outlines and some without, because for these illustrations, first of all, because they have so many small details, they just wouldn't come through if we had stamped outlines everywhere. And then also just to highlight this sort of soft hand illustrated look, we decided not to do stamped outlines for every element. Now, the coordinating 6-piece die set includes a die for the building or the storefront, one-piece die for the elements that you can ink blend with the coordinating stencils, and then 4 dies for the sentiments. So almost all of the sentiments are included, apart from Cheers to Another Year and Life is Sweeter with You. And then the coordinating stencils, this is a 5-piece set. So the first 2 stencils are just there to ink blend the storefront. So you have this up here where you can color in the awning. And then here you would put the sign where you can stamp patisserie on. And then the remaining 3 stencils, they all come with 2 layers on each stencil. So you have 6 layers in total. And with these 6 stencils, you can then color in those little images. So here you can see in my sample card, I almost 100% copied the colors that were used for the mock-up. And I used it to create this little scene right here. I did lose my little macaron display somewhere. Maybe my son stole it. But I made this little easel card, and I just want to add the coordinating die for the storefront only cuts out the outline. So to create this card, I did use an X-Acto knife to cut a little window in this storefront, but it's really easy to do since it's just basically just straight lines. But this way you can also play around with this sort of dimension, scene building, and layering. You could put some acetate behind it and just have some fun with it. And of course, we have some wonderful design team inspiration as well. Now, next up, we have 3 more product suites. All of them are stencil and die only product suites. And I will show you all of them in more detail. So the first one is called Sweet Scoops, and this one consists of a one-piece die that may look a little bit weird at the beginning, but you will see in a second what it cuts out. And then you get a two-piece layering stencil set, but again with 2 layers on each stencil. And this is what it looks like. So you have this cute little bunny with this huge stack of ice cream scoops that you could color in rainbow colors, or just like ombre, or just use whatever color you like. And you also get, on the stencil layers, you also get these accents that you can add, so the little sprinkles, some little hearts that are really fun, and you can not only use them to add the accents to your ink blended ice cream scoops, but you could also use them, the stencils like I did here, to create a background for your inked and die cut image. So all of the sentiments or the stamp sets in this release work really well with the stencil and die only sets, so you can get lots of uses out of them. And of course our design team has also created some more cards with the Sweet Scoops set. Now next up we have the Sweet Safari product suite. This again is a one-piece die and then a 3-piece layering stencil set to color in this little elephant here with this stack of fruit. Again, the stencil set could be used in a different way, so you could use these just to create an abstract pattern on your background, or you could also use them, and that goes for all of the stencil and die only suites in this release, you could also use them to create some no layer or one layer cards. You don't even have to die cut the images out if you don't want to. And our design team has created lots more. And then the final product suite in this release, we have 2 more products, but the final product suite is called Seaside Combs. And this is a 3-piece layering stencil, and here there should be a 1-piece die. Now, it just vanished from my craft space. I'm very sorry about that, but I'm showing you a picture here of the actual die. And then here you can see what this little seal would look like if you cut it out. So the die cuts out the seal, the ice cream, so these are individual pieces, and then you also get this little beach towel. So it's a 1-piece die that cuts 3 separate pieces that you can color in using the coordinating 3-piece layering stencil set. So this is a really fun, easy, quick set to use. I think that goes for all of the, especially the stencil and die only sets. Now, last but not least, we have 2 more products, a cover plate die called Starry Scallops and a press plate called Petal Grid. Now, you can easily use them on their own, as you've seen in some of the samples that I shared with you, or you could combine them. So this is what the die looks like on its own, and this is what it can look like if you use the press plate and the die together. If you're not familiar with our press plates, you can use them for different things. So first of all, of course, with the Better Press letterpress system to create a letterpress effect. And you can easily use Pinkfresh Studio die inks for that. They work beautifully for this. So just like I did on this card sample here, for example, you can use it to hot foil with your hot foil system, or you can use it to create a dry emboss effect like I did on this card. So here I didn't use any ink, I only used the correct sandwich in my die cutting machine to do some dry embossing with this plate. As usual, we are giving away the entire release on this video. All you have to do is let us know which of these designs you are most excited about, or which product suite you can't wait to get your hands on. And then make sure to check out our blog hop that we have to celebrate this release with tons more of inspiration and giveaways. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're as excited about this release as we are. And I hope you have a great weekend. Take care, everyone. See you soon.